Hey, thanks for tuning in to our live stream, whether you're listening to us on your Amazon Echo, whether you're listening on doubletaponair.com/live, or maybe you're watching along on YouTube. We're gearing up for the big Apple event. We cannot wait. So we're going to be getting into preview mode very soon with our special guest, Michael Feir, joining me and Sean. That's on the way in 5 minutes from now. Music on the live stream is brought to you by Andre Louis. Many thanks to him for allowing us to play some amazing tracks here on our live stream on Double Tap Live today. We are getting ready for the Big Apple event. We're less than 5 minutes away from going live. Grab those snacks. It's also going to be new iPhones, it's going to be new Apple Watches, maybe even a new HomePod, AirPods maybe. We shall find out in the big event. Full coverage continues on the Double Tap podcast. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts, also on YouTube. But stay tuned to Double Tap Live next as we get into those rumours. Hey guys, coming up, we're live as we get ready for Apple's jaw-dropping event.
This is Double Tap, where blind people talk tech. Here's Stephen Scott and Sean Priest.
Yeah, we're live for the very first time, actually, we've ever done this live. Sean Priest, how you doing?
Stephen Scott, very, very nervous. Live, you say, but I'm excited. Happy Apple Day to you, sir.
Yeah, do you know, I just finished some beautiful chicken skewers. Am I covered in them? Why am I asking you?
Yeah, no idea. Let's say yes.
Let's just say you are. You know what? It's a fun time to be alive. That is when an Apple event is happening. I was actually excited this morning. It was just like, waking up on Christmas Day. What will Santa Tim bring me today?
Has he been? Yeah. We shouldn't sound so excited because, Stephen, I don't remember you getting this excited about, a Google event or Samsung event. Although the Meta event is coming up as well. Okay, fair enough. Yes, there is a special place for the Apple event, I've got to say. I don't know what it is, but there just is. A lot of excitement.
Yeah. I don't think Jimmy Fallon is hosting, or is it Jimmy Kimmel? I always mixed up as to who those talk show hosts are. But
I don't know. Yes, that made me cringe a little bit, that one. Let's hope it doesn't go this way today.
Well, look, we are live, so if you are listening to us on your smart speaker, which you can do by saying Open Double Tap Live, or you can listen via the website, and you'll be able to do this in the future as well for future live events we do. You can go to doubletaponair.com/live, or you can watch us on YouTube. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Yes, it's only our mums that are watching.
Only mums are watching.
Hi, Mum. How you doing? Get the tea on.
I think my wife might be listening, but she's probably given up by now. That's usually how it goes. It's
she's
like,
got bored already.
I heard it's working. I heard you managed to press the go button. That's all I need. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have fans.
Listen, let's bring in our special guest today who's going to be joining us over the hour. I'm so pleased to welcome Michael Feir to the program. Michael, we haven't had you on the show for a long time. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty well. It's been a nice, restful summer, and I've sort of geared up for the what I'm in for now, starting the next edition of my book, and of course, ready for Tim Cook to say good morning in his usual
good morning
friendly fashion.
It's exactly like that is how he's going to say it. I am quite excited by these events, but I'm also excited to have you here because, like you say, you're in your this will be the third series of the book, or is it the fourth series we're going into
it's
now?
The fourth edition.
Fourth? Wow.
Yeah, the Apple keeps changing how they do things, and
you've got to keep up.
Yeah, you really do.
Well, we're going to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Not much of a book reader, Stephen Scott, referring to it as season. There, very much a TV guy.
I'll wait for the box set if you don't mind. No, look, it's great because and we should definitely get into this about the book and all of that. But I've got to kick off with the big question from you. What are you looking forward to today, Michael? What are you looking for? What is going to be the thing that draws you back in? Because a lot of people last year were kind of holding off on buying the iPhone 16 because it was like, well, do we do this? Do we jump in? Do we go for it? Or do we wait for the 17? I saw so many comments like that. Where are you with the whole Apple ecosystem?
Well, I mean, people have gotten together and generously funded me an iPhone 16 Pro. So that means there's no way I'm going to I'm just finishing paying off for my 15. So there's no way I'd be in the market for an iPhone. I am kind of interested in a new Apple Watch SE. If the rumor is that that's going to be upgraded, and it's about time. It's really due for that. So depending on what's there, I might eventually get one of those. But I'm really I'm curious to see how Apple handles the corner that it sort of boxed itself into. It promised AI. It hasn't really emerged fully. Certainly not the bits people were really keen on. Right, you have some tools. But the promised better Siri that everyone wants hasn't really popped into existence yet. So I'm very keen to see how they try to buy themselves the time they need to really get that finished and get it launched. The idea of a private AI that is really geared towards serving you as a person rather than the company would be really valuable if they do it right. But can they steer the course and do they have the runway to pull that off, or are they going to have to do something, take some shortcut that undoes a lot of what they promise? So very Very keen to see how they manage that, how they present themselves after such a rough and tumble year that they've had.
I don't think you're alone in that, Michael, at all. I think, AI, as with every event from every other company, is going to be front and center. But I think Apple did play down the expectations in, WWDC when we talked about, iOS 26, macOS 26. They did come out specifically and say, yeah, we've had to, look at that and take some more time on trying to get that to work as we want it to work. So I don't know. Everyone is waiting for that Apple voice assistant. That's something that either replaces or improves Siri, that, puts it in the same ranks as Gemini, as ChatGPT. I just don't know if we're going to see it today.
No, rumor has it that it'll be sort of next year, next quarter kind of thing. But they have. How are they going to try and buy that time? There's stuff they could do to maybe roll out, have the AI capabilities that they do have working well. Be used in more things. I've heard rumors about notes being updated a lot and reminders, things like that on the software side. So, a redesign, maybe that will wow the people enough to sort of at least keep the real critical hounds at bay a bit.
But
it's a tough thing to pull off.
But hang on, big wobbly but here, because you're talking all about software, right? And I get it. I 100% agree with you. We're all looking forward to iOS 26 and what it will come with. But we know roughly what we're going to get because we got WWDC. We were talking on the show yesterday, I think it was. Or was it today's show? It's today's show we're airing today. The one that's coming up at noon Eastern. Where you're going to be hearing from Sarah Herlinger from our conversation back in the good old days of GAD just a few months ago.
Yes.
And we learned all about the new accessibility features that are coming, which is great, right? Lots of new cool features coming. So we know a lot about the software. It's the hardware. So, this year everyone's excited about the Air, the 17 Air, as is rumored. So this is a much thinner phone. They're saying it's almost going to be as thin, if not thinner, than the iPod Nano, which seems wild to me that would even be possible. Guessing the SIM card slot's gone, and I'm guessing they're never bringing back the headphone jack. But, that is interesting. So does any of that appeal to you? Are you bothered by form factor, Michael?
Well, here's the thing about thin. Thin, you get to a point where is it strong enough? Like, what if you get more of these people sticking them in the back pockets and they snap and you get all the, right? And then there's battery. How much battery life is thin worth to you, right? I mean, you can get a battery case. I presume someone will very quickly come up with that. I mean, there are ways to get around that, but should you have to? Might not a thicker phone with more battery be more sensible? I question the drive for ultra thin past a certain point.
I totally agree. Who's asking for a thinner smartphone? Who? I mean, smaller maybe, but they did, sort of play the cards with the minis, which I believe they've discontinued. That's not going to happen anymore.
Obviously, sighted people don't want to. You can get too small. I mean, that's what I think they've figured out. So now, do you really want thinner? I don't know.
Yeah, but as you said, look, the big thing here is the battery life going to really suffer from this? Because much smaller real estate. Of course, the battery's going to be smaller. So worse battery life, is it going to be worth it? There is rumors of a new battery technology to make up the difference, so it should be able to compare to the standard iPhone 17s. But I'm not convinced by that at all. I just wonder why. Same as you, Michael. Who wants this?
What is the point of going ultra thin? I mean, do you want it to resemble a playing card? What are you going for here? Like, it comes to, and in these folding ones, I don't know. The rumor is we're not seeing that today, or it'll be like next or the following years, perhaps.
Yeah, we're not going to get folding phones yet, I don't think.
And but no, that's a really good point. And maybe this could be the reason for the Air, right? If they're working on a fold, you want the thinnest possible. If you're basically gluing two iPhones together,
like that, I can see what the research would pay off once you got to the folding phone stage.
I always think when people like at Apple listen to our kind of discussions, assuming anyone actually bothers, but if there was someone from Apple listening to this going, damn it, they figured it out. They now know what we're up to. They know we're going to glue out 2 iPhones together. Somehow that'll be amazing. Can't wait, because no one else has done that.
I must admit, I'm not an engineer. I'm not sure if that's the exact technical process. I
think that's exactly right. I think that is exactly how it's going to work. So we're going to hear about new iPhones, okay? New iPhone 17 Pro will likely be announced. What we're looking for from the Pro, because that's often the one I see a lot of the blind guys online who tend to review and talk about tech. When it comes to buying iPhones, buying, I guess, any smartphone, to be honest, go for the top of the range. You've got the 16 Pro. I've got the 16 Pro Max, and I honestly wonder why I bother with the 16 Pro. I mean, I'm really looking at the 16e at the moment, thinking that's a really nice phone. The 17 Air might drag me in. I want small, light. I don't know if the 17 Air will be small. It'll certainly be light. But the one thing about the Pro Max and the Pro is they're not light phones.
Yeah, it depends on your use case. I mean, for me, I have the 16 Pro, and if I had upgraded myself, I'd probably have gone for the 16 Basic.
Yeah.
Because it really, for me, the LiDAR, it's there. I've had fun messing with it, but in everyday life, I haven't really used it a ton.
Thank you for saying that. No, seriously, because look, I have brought this up many times. I see so many people always say, you know what, just get the Pro because you get LiDAR. As if it's like some nirvana. And it's a great feature, but is it something we use every day? I don't use it every day.
Yeah, I mean, if I were using some of these live recognition things, like pulling my phone out to sort of navigate a new space or something, I mean, I don't know, I'd feel a bit nervous doing that, to be honest. Especially in a crowded environment, there's no way I'd feel comfortable doing that. Mm-hmm. So it's the use cases get more pared down depending on your lifestyle. I can see it if you're traveling, if you're working a lot and you're traveling around, maybe you'd find it useful enough. But LiDAR, it's a bit iffy depending on your lifestyle. Battery life is there. Pros get better battery, better heat dissipation, better camera. And the LiDAR does help with the photography, with taking pictures and stuff, getting better measurement of distance can help. I get somewhat better descriptions, better OCR kind of thing, but again, is it worth half again as much money? Right. So it really depends on your use case. But if you're, constantly creating stuff on your phone and things and really need that extra battery, if you're traveling a lot, obviously these things come in a lot more handy, and it could be worth it, for someone.
Let me, Michael, go to a resident cheap guy around here.
Hello.
Sean Priest, hi. So you've got the Pro, haven't you? You've got the Pro Max, only because I think I gave it to you.
You gave it me. That's the only reason.
You would never have got this otherwise.
No, absolutely. Look, the reason for the Pros, if you go on, in our community at least, it's always the battery life that people talk about. I want as much battery life as possible, so I want the biggest phone they've got, and it's usually the Pros that will give you slightly better battery life. So that's why people go with that, Pro Max or Pro. I think the LiDAR, as Michael said, I think it's a luxury. It's a great technology, but in real life, I don't use it. The walking around my living room saying the dining room table, all the seats are empty, or the dog sat in one, look, LiDAR just told me, is absolutely amazing. When I'm out trying to, find a seat in a restaurant, it's not practical. Now, that technology would be great in a pair of Apple glasses, by the way. Sign me up. So I totally get why it's there. And, as Michael said, for photography, maybe. But for me, LiDAR is a luxury. So I would possibly go, as most people, you go for what you can afford, right? And you're not going to miss out on too much either way. I don't think. People that went for the iPhone SE are not complaining about the lack of the ultra-wideband chipset. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, I can run the apps that I want. I can run Seeing AI or Soundscape or whatever it may be, and I'm happy. So,
but then that ultra wide can come in very handy. I do make use of that, the AirTags and such. So that is, that's the thing. You go to the E level, you're starting to carve away at features that you might actually find useful. So there's that thing to consider.
Yeah.
But as a basic phone, like I presume we're going to get an equivalent SE, equivalent to the E series this year.
I don't know. I'm wondering about this because with the Air...
I'm wondering if the Air...
Yeah, I think the Air might be the new
Might
E.
be the new E? Yeah, possibly. I can see that kind of working.
I see there's a couple of late leaks, as there often are, as we get closer to the event. The latest one being that there won't be the number 17. It'll be just called iPhone Air. So they're going to take the number out of it. Now, that would certainly suggest that it might be the new E, because if you take the number away from it, there's no expectation of the one being a new one every year, which would mean that 16E is the last we've ever seen of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be the last we ever see of a 16 or an E version. That might be it.
Yeah.
Quick, buy one now. It's a collector's edition.
Instant collector's item, yeah.
So
actually, that's interesting, though. The taking away the number does make a difference, right?
If that's true,
does.
yeah.
Well, rumours at this stage, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going from 18 to 26 on the iOS side. So, yeah, I mean,
it's kind of funny. I was
moving up.
I was updating my Google Pixel phone the other day, and I realized I couldn't work out what version of Android I was on. And you know that just for a minute, I thought, Google, couldn't you have just did what Apple did and just changed it to the year? Because honestly, this is actually quite genius. Now I know where all my devices should be, where they are. What year is it? Now I know. Yeah.
But it could change. It could be the iPhone XV or something. Who knows next year? They're not very good at sticking with, well, I say that. I mean, probably 2 changes in 2 decades, but that's not the point. I want to make an argument.
Can I know we're looking forward to the event, and of course I mean that in every sense. We're looking forward to it from this perspective, but also excited about it. There's a lot of videos that tend to show up and pictures that show up on social media around this time of year, usually the day before the Apple event. And it's a post which usually says something like, I'm just back from the Apple store and I've just bought myself a new 16 Pro Max, top of the range. I'm so excited. Is this the best decision ever? And of course, you get 8,000 people coming back and saying, what have you done? You bought the wrong thing. And of course, it's just trolling, right? But I do wonder, the position that we're in with smartphones today, if someone has recently bought themselves a 16 or a 16 Pro, a 16E even, they're getting a good phone, right? I mean, you don't have to have the latest phone, right? I mean, we do, I guess, because it's our job, it's our thing. This is what we do. We love to play and talk about the latest toys, the latest gadgets, so we can inform others. From your perspective, Michael, of course, writing the book, that's really important that you're up to date with all that stuff. But for your average consumer out there, there are people sitting on the iPhone 12, the iPhone 13 that are actually getting on fine.
It really depends, on your basic needs and, past a certain point. Now, I do draw the line at don't keep a phone if you can't get iOS versions on it. That's where all the improvements come. That's where your security updates come in this increasingly fractured world. That's where any improvements to voiceover, any improvements to accessibility are going to come. So you want to make sure you can still get iOS versions. That's where I would draw my personal line as to when upgrading is absolutely necessary. Usually I get tempted by some new feature long before that point, but that's because eventually, of course, also developers stop supporting the older iPhones, right? As you go back, further forward. So eventually the apps that you rely on might not be supported and you're really going to get stuck behind. So yeah, I mean, you do have a good deal of runway. I mean, you could probably keep an iPhone for a good 4 or 5 years after it first comes out easily.
Yep.
And not have to upgrade. But yeah, people getting like really older iPhones, I do worry that they're gonna run out of that runway quicker than they think.
Yeah, it's a really good point you raised, because recently we lost WhatsApp for, was it the iPhone 6 Plus downwards? It stopped being supported, and there were charities out there that use these older phones, give these older phones out and run their charities through WhatsApp groups that were saying, hey, hang on, WhatsApp is no longer working on these. What do we do? Yeah. So it's a very good point. I think, it's always, as you said, it's that feature that makes you upgrade. There's absolutely no reason to upgrade every year. Absolutely none. You barely would notice a difference, I'm sure, unless there's some radical design difference.
Yeah,
but,
or you're pushing the envelope. Like I'm pretty a basic user. I do multitask. I use, there's music playing, there's a soundscape being generated, and I'm writing away. Even just there, right? There's a bunch of stuff happening on my phone, but I don't edit videos. I don't crunch audio. right? And that's where you really max out the chips. That's what you might want, that extra speed, that extra fast caching. That's when it could really pay off. Gaming applications. Games really push technology. A lot of people don't realize that. It looks fun, but it's really giving your phone a workout, or your tablet, the latest game. So that really drives stuff forward more than people think. And so that's, audio games, not as much. Accessible games don't really tax the system quite nearly as much, but
Used to be seeing AI that could give your phone a workout. I remember in the days when you put on that app and suddenly it would be almost on fire.
Yep.
Well, do you remember when Siri was released, right? When we went from the iPhone 4 to the 4S. And
see, I missed. I got a 4, and then my next phone, was eventually a 5S. So I jumped over that 4S completely.
Well, my memory is notoriously bad, so I may be getting this wrong, but I think it was only available on the 4S, not the 4, or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Then there was these, you can get around it by this hack or whatever. But I think it was something, the Siri feature sold a lot of phones. Even if you were on the 4, a lot of people said, you know what, I really want to use this. And until, I thought AI was going to be it. From the 15 to the 16, AI is going to be the seller there. And I think, as you both mentioned, I think Apple kind of let us down, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Because people jumped on this thinking, this is the AI phone. And to be honest, it isn't. It just isn't.
No, you could really I could do as much with my 15 and not feel at all like I'm missing stuff.
Yeah. That's not to say it won't be. When the AI does roll out and get to the level where we expect it to be, then the 16 probably will be more than capable to run that. But there was no need to jump on quickly in order to access Apple AI because it just didn't appear.
No. And the same happens with a lot of these whiz-bang new features. Apple Pay, it took a while before it was really widely useful here in Canada. There was a rollout period. The feature was available on the phones, and then you waited because no one was supporting Apple Pay just yet, and you waited. And then by the time I think that second phone with Apple Pay was coming out, was when, you can use it at Tim Hortons, you can use it at these different places, and it just works. And you stopped carrying your credit card because you didn't need it anymore. And that was...
credit card.
It took a while for that to roll out, right? So... you look at these features and just think, do I need this now? How quickly is this going to really be useful? How long is it going to take them to really perfect this? And if you can kind of outthink them on those lines, you've got a bit more runway to work with.
Yeah. Interesting times. The other thing I want to mention is the Apple Watch, because there's talk of a new Apple Watch of some kind. We're talking iPhone, iWatch, or Apple Watch, whatever it's called this week. Apple Watch.
Still get it wrong.
SE. I always get that wrong. I don't know why. Apple Watch SE, Watch, what are we on, 11 now? This will be.
Yeah. And the SE, it'll be the SE3 theoretically, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Third version of that.
And Ultra 3.
And Ultra 3 rumored.
Ultra 3, yes. Yeah.
So there's talk of the 11 and the Ultra 3 being pretty much the same in terms of design, obviously new features inside. And because Jimmy Kimmel's not hosting it, we might actually figure out some statistics and facts about the device rather than it's really cool and here's top 10 bits on whatever.
Someone's bitter and twisted.
I just didn't like that event style at all. It's like, it's just a nerd fest. We want to be nerded up. I don't want to be hearing Jimmy Kimmel or whoever he was. I don't know who the guy was.
Fallon.
Was that his name? Jimmy Fallon?
Jimmy Nail. I don't know who it was, but
That's
yes.
right. Jimmy Buffett. I don't know who it was.
Talking of the Apple Watch. Okay,
sorry, I didn't finish my thought.
Well, sorry, you went off on a tangent.
Because I went off on a tangent. Yeah, I'm shouting at myself, not you. So the Watch SE apparently will have a slightly different design, or so they say. That's a rumor. That it might have a slightly different design, possibly a larger face.
Well, that's exciting.
In other words, I think the Series 10 from last year might well be the design for the new Watch SE, because the thing with that was it was very small, or not very small, it was quite a large face, but it had a very light design. Really nice watch.
I never got to feel the Series 10.
Yeah.
What have you got, Michael? Have you an Ultra?
I had an SE2, and unfortunately the top of it came off at one point, and I couldn't do a thing with it.
Get Tim Cook on the phone.
Did you think it was one of those Braille watches you tried to flick it open?
No, it's not supposed to come off. I used to have those Braille watches, But yeah, so I might eventually get an SE3, depending on what they've added and because SE is really my level. I'm not a Hercules. I'm not a health nut. So
Not going diving or mountain climbing on your own.
Don't need the Ultra. I could maybe go to a regular series watch, I suppose, but really the SE did everything I wanted in terms of making information available, and I suspect it'll be kind of there again. Like it'll hopefully support Siri on device. That would be nice, and then especially if Siri gets better, makes it even nicer. Having all the information there. The holy grail for these things is if someone ever figures out blood glucose measurement. No one has yet for these watches. So I think I've heard possibly the main series might be getting blood pressure measurement with the band, and that would be, I can see that kind of being useful for some people, but not for me really. So I don't know, like I haven't heard a ton about what is actually going to be in the next, other than this workout coach, right? That's giving you
which is pretty cool.
It's a good idea. I'd go with that. Might motivate me a little bit. One extra push-up or something. I don't know.
We see this every time. It's not going to happen. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever.
Have another burger.
That's right. Forget it. Get your KFC ordered. But Uber Eats pop up right in the middle of it.
The Apple Watch is a great example of what we were just talking about. What would make you upgrade, right? I mean, you talked about the new SE rumor of a slightly different design. No one's going to care. No one is going to care, and that's not going to be enough to upgrade.
I have heard they might do a plastic SE model and then have a price cut. That's one rumor that I suppose
that would make a difference. I'm straight in there.
Yeah, especially if you're angling at getting them for children, right? I mean, I can see that.
Yes,
possibly swaying some people.
I think, toughen up the glass and plastic design, and that's almost perfect for kids then, right? I think I don't know, I need to get it checked, but I think I may have smashed the screen of my Ultra watch.
Oh my.
I think
what were you doing?
Have.
Up a mountain?
That's right. I fell down a mountain. No, I walked into a door, and the watch got the most of it. And it was only
That's
later.
Not what it's designed for.
It's not designed for that. No, it didn't have smash detection on it.
We need the blind edition. That's what we need.
The BE. Well, you can get. That's the bumper edition, right? Which is a little bumper that goes around it. You can buy those.
Yeah.
No. You can buy like a plastic bumper.
I know.
Or silicone, or whatever it is, and you can put it around your watch. So you don't break your watch. But
it happens.
So I must say, you're talking about the plastic there for the watch SE. There's also talk, just going back to the iPhones for a second, there's talk of them moving away from titanium to aluminium. And apparently it's because of heat dissipation. They're trying to figure out ways to make it, so that it doesn't heat up the same way as titanium has. I'm just wondering how they're going to try and... I love how Apple managed to sell it to you. It's like the way they sold USB-C, even though they legally had to do it to sell in Europe.
Yeah, they spun it like it was our idea.
It was like the best thing ever. We've come up with this thing, and it's like, no, you haven't.
Yeah. This is not what you wanted, Apple. Yeah, but they really did spin that, and I'm kind of wondering whether they're going to try and do similar kind of maneuvering for to get out of the position they're in.
Very possibly,
ways.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care. Titanium, aluminum, or aluminium. No one's going to care.
It's all, can it dissipate heat quickly? That's the main thing. I mean, that if they can really make a difference there, I'm sure there are people that would really help. Yeah. Because I've got it certainly hot enough that it won't charge, right? It's charging on hold until heat returns to reasonable level, right? So, I mean, that I can see that making a difference to the average person if they make a substantial difference in that heat dissipation.
Now, apparently Best Buy are putting up, already they're putting up notices. I don't know where, but, I don't know if this is even in stores or what is going on. Sometimes these things happen in advance and then people catch them and put it on social media. But apparently Best Buy are preparing to sell the AirPods Pros from today. That seems a little bit unlikely, but you never know.
Hang on, what version are they?
This will be 3. AirPods Pro 3.
On Amazon right now here in the UK, Amazon AirPod Pro 4s.
What? No, hang on. There's an AirPod 4.
There's AirPods 4.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any Pro 4 yet.
I think that may be a typo or someone's getting excited.
Or it's someone getting a little bit, how How much do they cost? That's the question.
You know what? I didn't look. I was so excited. I didn't actually look at the price.
If they're $9, then it's the knockoff version. You don't want to buy those. But yeah, the talk of the AirPods Pro 3, which apparently going to be usurped by another pair of AirPods Pro next year. Don't know what the name of these will be, but apparently they'll be even more pro. So there's been a lot of talk about AirPods getting, AirPods Pro in particular, getting cameras. And we got a little bit more insight into this. 9to5Mac reported on this just this morning. They were saying that these infrared cameras may be put into future editions of the AirPods Pro. And instead of squeezing the side of the AirPods to, do an action, like, for example, pause music or answer a call, you would just wave your hand in a motion towards the AirPods. And that would do various things. It would stop or play or whatever. I can't quite understand how it's going to work. I'm sure when we see it, we'll be like, this is amazing. But I don't know.
So someone's going to see someone waving at their AirPods and think they're some sort of spy, and someone's going to get injured or something.
A new social norm that was going to have to kick in very quick. Just people waving their hands around their face to stop music or whatever it is. Weird.
Yes, no, that is too weird. I mean, moving your hand up to your ear like you're going to scratch your earlobe to squeeze the stem rather than wave your hands and put gestures in front of your face. No, that makes absolutely no sense. I have heard that there is either infrared or camera in the Pros. That could be interesting. I don't know.
Well, that's what I just said.
No, what?
Well, but
yes, but
in fact, I used those exact words.
No. Yeah, look, infrared.
Thank you.
Stop it. Not for gestures. Think about AI, visual AI. Think of the LiDAR we've just been talking about, right? That sort of functionality, the Apple visual intelligence. Well, yeah, how would they ever get that to work in that small form factor? I don't know. But what else? What other reason? Gestures just doesn't make any sense.
It probably has other functions.
What are you asking me for?
You're the expert.
All right.
You'd have two of these cameras, so theoretically that would give you a head-level view of...
Yep.
Maybe they can do something with that information somehow.
Yeah, I'm not convinced about that. But we'll see.
I've got very hairy ears. Do I get a special ear trimmer with it?
It would be a cool idea. You could get Siri to cut your ear hair. Oh,
do you know what? That's
brilliant. I love that. I love that.
Suddenly got gross.
Let's not even talk about the earwax. Okay, so... here's the question that we often ask at these events. Could there be one more thing? Do you think we're talking iPhones, we're talking watch, we're talking AirPods? We kind of know that's probably going to be at the event. Could there be one more thing? I want to go around the table here for your predictions. Michael, off you go.
HomePod is the thing I've heard most frequently as the potential one more thing. So finally, an update to the presumably iPod or HomePod Minis. I guess I don't know if they'd bring back the full size, but that's one thing I've heard of that might be as kind of a maybe. I haven't heard any rumors like that in about a month now, but that was for a while. That was you'd hear about that all the time. Oh, they're going to throw some new HomePods at everybody.
Okay, I'm going to pause for a second here because we need to take a moment for the Sean Priest prediction. Are we ready for this, guys?
Thanks, Stephen. A new Apple TV. Of course.
Get lost. Come on.
No.
That's not going to happen.
I was going to say HomePod, but Mickey threw me under the bus. Okay, you know what? I'll say it. Apple glasses. One more thing.
Really?
Take a look at these little beauties. These Apple glasses with... Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I'm not convinced there is going to be a one more thing, but I think we may see more devices than we expect. I do think we may see HomePods, and I do think we're going to see an Apple TV. I think the Apple TV is woefully underused, and I think they could do more with it.
Woefully underused?
Yeah, I think it's... how many times when you first got your Apple TV did you search through the App Store looking for something, just something that wasn't Netflix or some other streaming service? The power in there, stick an M chip in it. This could be amazing. I think they could do something really special with the Apple TV with the new hardware. So, yeah, I'm going to say Apple TV.
Yeah, and they do have still Apple TV Plus is still going strong. They haven't shown any sign of... rolling that in.
No, quite the opposite. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is available through the Apple TV app, but I know what you mean. I mean, it's still strange to me that movies and TV shows still has an icon on that main screen. And when you go to it, it basically just tells you to go straight to the Apple TV app. You think, well, why not just get rid of them? I mean,
that makes no sense. Yeah. There must be some sort of legacy reason they're doing that in the background, some sort of server setup. It seems strange considering they can, drop a floppy disk or a headphone jack without a second thought.
Floppy disk.
Courage, people, courage.
You're going to have to explain to the younger ones. You know we're on YouTube, right? The young generation have no idea what you're talking about. The save icon 3D printed. That is exactly.
The CD drive, how about that? Even that's going back. Yeah. Okay, Stephen Scott, what's your prediction before you try and
What's my prediction? You know what? I don't think there's going to be one more thing. There's my prediction.
I just said that. Well, you can't have that.
I'm taking
Next.
it. No, I don't think there will be. I don't think there will. I mean, I think you're right. I think HomePod's minis. I think HomePod Mini might be an extra that comes along. We shall see. I am quite intrigued. It's funny, right? Every year I think to myself, I'm not going to get excited about the Apple event this year. I will say, I think the event I'm most excited about this year is the Meta event. I really am looking forward to seeing what Meta does. I think it's going to be a lot of fun seeing what they do with the Meta Ray-Bans, where they go. I think there's talk of the Prada range being the one that perhaps is the first to bring out this new style with the little screen inside the glasses, which I don't care about. I don't think any of us will be, but the good news is that the audio-only versions aren't going anywhere. There's talk of them being updated as well. Michael, where are you with the whole Meta thing? Because it seems to be that everywhere I go, no matter who I speak to, everybody wants to talk about Meta Ray-Bans or Meta
I just
glasses.
haven't gotten on board with the thing. I'm fine with the apps like Be My Eyes and things like that. I've, my life just hasn't pushed me in that direction yet to get these glasses.
Wow.
But I do feel slightly like an outsider because everyone around me seems to be getting them. So.
He should be banned from the community immediately.
I know. Like,
And what happens when you're kicked out of the blind community? Where do you go? It's like I often laugh when I hear about the organized blind. This is a movement in America, right? I guess it's the NFB's thing, right? And it always makes me laugh when I hear about the organized blind. Can I be part of the unorganized or disorganized?
The chaotic blind, yes.
The chaotic blind.
I think that's when you become illegally blind, right?
Yeah.
Or unregistered blind.
That's probably
when you get kicked out.
Michael, I want to talk to you about your book because you've been doing this as a service, frankly, I would say, for the community for a very long time. And I want to just talk to you a little bit about that here because, when you got the third edition out, I know you were quite humbled, I would say. And this was a campaign, I believe, started by Jonathan Mosen. I don't know if it was as part of his new podcast that he's doing or whether it was part of the previous one,
It's
Living Blindfully.
the Living Blindfully community. I just mentioned in passing that I would not be getting like a new 16 phone with the intelligence ready stuff because I just couldn't afford it. I was still paying off my 15 and there's no way I'm going to be paying for two phones at once. And I just thought, okay, well, I've got people that are going to make that jump. I'll get the information I need to finish the book from them and, just have to not write from direct experience. And Jonathan just mentioned, oh, well, we should start you a fundraiser. And I thought, oh, that's a nice idea. And figured, maybe that could work, give it enough time, thinking in months, right, to build up the money to get me my phone, potentially. But I just thought, I'd probably just be writing this on the 15. And lo and behold, in like 10 hours or less, I went to sleep thinking, oh, maybe in a month or so. I woke up and, well, we got the money now. We can get him a phone. It's like, what the heck? Like, it just blew me away that these people raised that much money that quickly to get me an iPhone 16 Pro so that I could use it to write a better book. I mean, it really felt vindicating in a tremendous way, to have that happen. I don't ask anything for doing this book. It's free. Anyone can just go and get it from my blog. And, I'll do it with what I have, the best I can do, always. It was just really humbling and this is the thing, there's so many different rewards. When you put something else out like that, it comes back in some ways. Like I've been asked to do courses, I've been doing podcasts, all kinds of different things because of that book. over the years. I teach a course based on that book now for free as well for everyone across Canada. Can come on. It's called Unseen Touchscreen, and it's offered through the CCB. And that was not in my plan when I wrote the book.
Yeah.
But so it's amazing what you can get propelled on for something you just...
Sorry, Michael, but it does show the value that it has to other people, right? You're giving this away, and people appreciate that. People do put value on that and recognize how useful your book is. And as you say, I mean, feel validated or whatever it is. But I think it's perfectly right. And good to Jonathan Mosen as well.
Absolutely.
In motion.
Yeah, they stepped up and really made a huge difference in life for me and have for years. Jonathan Mosen has really been an inspiration for me. And the person, though, who really propelled me first into this book was John Morgan. He was a philanthropist who passed away before I could present him with the first edition of the book. But he was instrumental helping blind people in the Greater Toronto area and asked nothing in return. You felt that you had a friend, not someone you were beholden to or anything like that. He was just the nicest guy. And he did this into his 90s. With no expectation of anything but thanks, And I thought, wow, that is really inspiring. And that is, if anyone has kept me working at this, year after year, that is his memory. I'm passing on, it's an area where I feel advantaged over a lot of people who just don't understand how valuable a touchscreen can be. It's a different prospect. If you're coming at this as a newcomer and you're thinking, how can a flat object, help the blind? Why are so many blind people, paying fortunes for these things? What does it give them? And if you've never tried it before, it seems a bit absurd, right? So I figured, one way to level the playing field would be to write this book, to write a book that really takes you from the beginning to, setting it up your iPhone, what apps are out there that work well with VoiceOver, what are the possibilities that you can do with it, and really get you to a point where you're a competent user and you can make choices about what you invest your time in learning on that iPhone. And if I could put a book out there, I could short circuit that, that point of not having enough information, not being able to realize the potential, and help a lot more people enjoy their iPhones a lot more than they otherwise would. So that was what started me on the first edition of Personal Power. The book is Personal Power, Getting the Most from iOS as a Totally Blind User. And now the third edition is out, and I've just started working on the fourth edition after a very much needed break. I took it the last couple of months and just vegged and, relaxed, absorbed, visited books and movies from childhood, and just really just restored myself in so many different ways. And now I'm all raring to go to start work, basically start finding out today what is in store and what I'm going to have to write about in the fourth edition. So that is all moving into a higher gear.
It's just like Adele, right? It's just like Adele. When she's finished an album, she does her tour, and then she, disappears off for 3 years to relax.
Watches childhood movies and books.
And edges out.
And Back to the Future, right? I mean, that's something 100%. I've thought about in years. Finally
I was going to ask, but I didn't want to, guess how old you were there, Michael. So
that's a good choice. Yeah. Good choice, a movie. Can't be a bit of Huey Lewis in the news. What are you talking about? Power of Love? Huey, look, stop on my accent, you. I'll remind people where you're from in a minute.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's brilliant. I love what you're doing with this book. And, I think the thing that's always missing, and we've said this a lot, is access to information. Now, there's lots of information out there, of course, on how to get started. Oftentimes it comes in the form of a very long manual. Yeah, which with the best will in the world, I'm not going to read.
Manuals are great for people who kind of know something about what they want. But for a lot of blind people, especially if this is your first foray into digital life, like if you've avoided computers, for chunks of, like my grandmother never got a computer till her dying day. Like she just never She got other people to order things online for her, right? But, so I wanted to make sure that they had a friendly, something it's not built as a manual. I write this thing as, if you have time to wander, it's like a tour guide book. Like it's for people who don't mind wandering, finding out how this thing has affected my life and how, therefore, it might affect yours. So it's not just a straight manual. It's what I do with it. It's the experiences I've had, the discoveries I've made. My favorite books, music, movies are in there to give people a starting point, right? This is what you can access with your iPhone.
Yeah, it's real stuff.
Yeah, the camera, how, I dropped a handkerchief and those things are quiet. You can't hear where those things land, and they're slippery if you step on them. So, you can crawl around your apartment floor. There's a grid system of searching that works. That's a tried and true method. But you could call your father in his living room with his iPad on FaceTime, use the back camera in your phone, and he can help you look and find that handkerchief without leaving his living room. And the first time I did that, I was just mind blown by that possibility. When I first did that, and it worked, and there was my handkerchief that had been missing for a few days, and it was like, wow.
Yeah.
It's the small things, isn't it? It's the small things that often catch us off guard, that when we realize technology can do that. I mean, this is, I guess, when, like Be My Eyes came along, right? That was a lot of people were kind of finding they could suddenly lean for help, because a lot of people don't have access to that either. They don't have access to someone to call on to say.
To call whenever they need. Yeah, exactly. And this solves it. When you want to get a midnight snack, but you don't want your significant others judging you for that snack. You still want to know what it is. So.
Or you don't want to make them a snack, because that's another thing, right? You don't also want to make another snack. You want to make your own snacks. Yeah. Eat your snacks.
There's no such thing as too much information, right? Because people connect with certain styles of information. Some people want step-by-step guides. Some people want a more personal approach. Some people may hate us and what we do because of the style. Some other people would love another podcast.
How dare you?
I know, I can't imagine who would hate us, but...
I've certainly gotten my share of criticism from the geeks who want just the information. How do you do it? None of this fluff, right? And that's not my audience. I'm sorry, guys.
Other
but you have your
information.
manuals.
We're the same. We're the same. I don't think our audience are either. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everyone's different. But I know from my perspective, I just cannot sit down with a manual and learn anything. I don't do it. I just don't learn anything. I'm the type of learner who, needs to have a reason to do the thing. And then once he knows, like I know, right, okay, I need to get this done, that's when I'll learn it. That's when it'll sink in. But if you said to me, sit down and read the manual from end to end, that does nothing.
You always reach out and ask someone.
That's right.
Someone
It's and it's kind of the same. Like I've learned what I've had to when I've had to. So it's not like I've pre-learned everything before. I started using iOS and took a week to get used to the basics. But it was a year later before I finally filled up my phone enough to need to learn how the files worked, how I could delete stuff off my phone to make room to get the update for it. And that was when okay, this is how iPhone storage, this is what's in settings. I should have looked here much sooner, kind of thing. So I'm hoping, I can get, make it palatable for people to learn sooner than I did, and maybe not leave things quite till the last instant. Maybe learn about apps, learn about how to do the basics before you need to, before you're in a rush, right? And so I'm trying to approach it with a friendly style. There's a bunch of different formats. There's one fellow, Harrison too, he was kind enough to make an AI-generated narrated version of it. That sounds very sort of casual speed. So if someone can't deal with electronic documents, it's all in MP3s. You can just download it and do it that way and hear it read out to you in a pretty human-like voice. So that was a big helping hand that I'm very thankful for that he did, because not everyone's can handle an EPUB file, especially when they're just starting out. They don't know how to manage. So. Yeah, and this is the thing, a lot of kind people step forward to help me help everybody else. So it's a self-perpetuating thing in a lot of ways. People will come forward and help me out of my difficulties. So it just feels right that I keep doing what I'm doing, pass the thing, that goodwill on, and help more people get on board the iPhone train, which then makes more pressure on developers to make their apps accessible, making my life better indirectly that way. So I kind of see it as a win-win. It's effortful, but it's a win-win, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to take a quick moment because we're only 10 minutes away from the end of this. We do encourage you to head over to the Double Tap podcast, get ready for the new episode of today's show, which will air there. And of course, on AMI Audio, you can go check that out live if you're in Canada. What channels are on in your TV in your house, Michael?
Well, I don't even have a TV anymore.
Wow.
So
well done. You're back in the community. We welcome you back.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's it. Got a radio only. That's it.
Well, I pay for cable. You got internet. You got the streaming services. I've got Apple TV Plus. I've got Amazon Prime, and that's basically and YouTube. I do pay for YouTube. I got so tired of the ads. But that's basically it, right? I mean, other than
don't
that,
tell Mr.
podcasts.
But here's the thing.
AMI.ca. You can listen live from there.
Absolutely. You can find us there on AMI Audio and on the podcast, and of course here on YouTube as well if you're there or here or indeed anywhere. Well, it's very confusing in this new world where basically anywhere you turn you can be available. I want to say hi to Gregory, who's listening to us right now at the moment on Lady A. He says, "Who knew you were on my Lady A?" You guys are so techie and have your fingers on the pulse of the tech world. On the pulse, I beg your pardon. That could have been very different entirely. Yes. Also, hello to Brian, who says, "Thanks, but I'm going to be celebrating with the event today with much enthusiasm. Hope I'm wrong. I'll consider a small celebration if I can stay awake until the end."
What?
Wow. Not of us, I should say. He's talking about the event itself. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I want to say hi to Joshua, who says, "Even though I'm a Samsung fan, I still love watching the Apple events. I don't know, they're just good events." Yeah, good point.
Yeah, true. Oh, that's very nice.
Marie sends in a message. Will people with low vision be able to see the screen on Meta glasses?
No. I'm going to predict no.
Again, it depends on level of vision, right? It's always going to depend on level of vision. Yeah. Some cases it might be that it actually helps because the screen, and again, it depends on the text size on the screen as well.
Where it is tunnel vision, peripheral vision, is it going to be like the Google glasses where it's a tiny screen at the top of your periphery, in which case it might as well not be there if you've got tunnel vision. And it depends on the glasses as well. We don't know what it's going to be, a full display for the full lens or just a tiny screen. Yeah, we'll have to wait for
the rumor is with the Hypernova glasses that it will be one lens on one side of the glasses.
It's not glasses.
It is glasses.
It's not. It's a VR headset.
It's not a VR headset.
I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know in my head what I'm talking about, and I'm talking about glasses with a little tiny screen on them.
No, it's not. What? One side of the one screen, is it? Just one lens is going to have a tiny little screen in it.
That's exactly what the Google Glass was.
Not going to happen. And it failed. It's not going to happen.
Yes, 11 years ago it failed. Today, there's a chance. Okay, look, we're heading towards the event. We are very excited. Well, I am anyway. Snacks, guys, what are we thinking?
I really want a pizza. But I haven't got a decent pizza place around here. So Pizza Hut, maybe treat myself. I'm not sure yet.
Do you know what Pizza Hut is, Michael? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, we got Pizza Huts here.
You got Pizza Hut there? Wow.
It's global.
There's lots of pizza places. There's tons of, you never, it's like beer. You'd never run out of different pizzas.
Good pizza, though, Michael. That's the difference.
That narrows it a bit, but yeah.
I think the problem is it's always going to be just one or two options around here. I mean, we have a Chinese restaurant called Mr. Rice nearby here. That tells you all you need to know, quite frankly. Doesn't sound great, if I'm honest. I think when it comes to events like this, the thing that I always go into it with is a sense of optimism that Apple are going to pull out the bag that whatever they bring out is going to drag me back in. And it was funny because I was talking to Sean on the show about this, Michael, the other day, the whole world of Apple shortcuts and how that's now dragging me back into the Apple ecosystem again with the cool things you can do, especially now with Apple macOS 26. I mean, we talked about the iPhones, and this is going to be an iPhone event. Macs will probably see something new in October, probably. And it's interesting because even on that side of things, I'm like, my lease from my MacBook Pro is about to come up, and I'm like, do I want to get a new one? I'm like, okay, the option I have right now is to move up from an M3 Pro to an M4 Pro. What is the difference going to be, really? And it's the same question, I suppose, I've got in mind with the iPhones.
Yeah.
But it's the form factors, isn't it? It's the form factor that's really going to do it. When are they going to bring out an iPhone 17 mini, Michael Feir? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but I guess we'll see. I mean, they could surprise everybody. That's happened before. So but it's these things. It's getting to the point where if you're an average user, like it's going from one generation to the next, it feels kind of a small step. It takes a few generations usually to build the new features that really make it feel like you've really gotten something new. It's probably better for the environment, that it's that way.
Oh, forget it. The Earth's finished.
And on that note, we hope you enjoyed the show. Stephen, come on now.
What? Well, I'm sorry. Have I shocked you?
Hyperspace bypass. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. How's Mars looking these days? Let's get that up and running. I think we're going to need it soon. Elon, could you get on with it, please?
Please.
Listen, thank you so much for checking out our live stream, our very first ever live stream.
First one. How did you think it went, Stephen?
It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay, wasn't it? How do you think it went, Michael?
Yeah, it seemed good to me.
All right.
Excellent. Well, there you go. It's a resounding success. No, I'm happy. I'm happy. I think it was great. I really am glad we did this. And we'll do loads more like this. Like I say, this stream is going to be, if you're listening on the live stream on the web, you're going to hear lots of different episodes of the show. So you can go and listen to those any time of the day or night. If you wake up at 3 a.m. and decide, you know what, I can't sleep. How can I solve
Classic
that problem?
Double tap.
Double Tap will do it. We're here for that. And of course, we will be back on the podcast as regular. Today, we'll be hearing from Sarah Herlinger from Apple, talking about all of the upcoming iOS 26 and macOS 26 features in terms of accessibility. So we'll be hearing that conversation we recorded back in May with Sarah. So look forward to that on the episode. And we'll be back tomorrow with our podcast, going back over all of the news that has come out from Apple's big awe-dropping event. I think I said jaw-dropping at the top.
You did.
But
I didn't pick up on
awe-dropping
it. It's fine.
is what it's called. And we'll be joined by Shelly Brisbin, author of iOS Access for All. She charges for her book, by the way, Michael. Just saying, you should talk to Shelly.
Yeah,
you can maybe get a co-deal there.
I bear who no ill will.
Also, we're joined by Michael Babcock, good friend of the show. You'll know Michael well, I imagine, Michael Feir.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know
absolutely. Yeah.
So they'll both be joining us. We'll be recording that a bit later on tonight, and you'll hear that on the podcast, on AMI Audio, and on YouTube tomorrow in the usual places. Oh, goodness me. I think I got all that right.
Try and have to catch that.
I know, exactly. Michael, you're going to come back with us a little bit later in the week. Give us your thoughts on the extra podcast, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Michael, thanks so much for joining us today. Good luck with the book as well.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll need it. It's going to be a rough edition to do, but looking forward to it.
Sounds fun.
That is it from us, though. Thank you for listening along live. Catch the episode on Double Tap's podcast next. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Bye-bye.